Geek out! LaserDicks, you sexy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of LaserDicks. I'm Chris.
And I'm Ken.
And today we're going to be talking about some things that Ken bought literally like 2 hours ago.
Yes, because I have the best of plans. But yeah, I was coming up with some ideas this week, and I was just running short, and we're under the gun. I'm like, you know what? Record and tape exchange, they always come through in a pinch. And boy, howdy, did they come in a pinch.
Yeah, you got a lot.
$73 worth of LaserDiscs. And it's a nice...
None of them are over $10, I hope. Well, maybe the faulty... Well.
The Faulty Towers was only $7.
Ooh.
Yeah, for like a complete 13-episode run. I think I was looking at one that was like at 13, but like I think I decided against it. I don't know. I don't think any of these were like more than like $10. Mm-hmm. They're all pretty cheap. But I decided to split, so we'll talk about some next time.
Yep.
But I have a good chunk right here, and you've got some.
I've got a couple
there
as well. Yeah.
Why don't we round it up with yours, because you probably have a lot to say about those.
Do I have... yeah, anyone that's heard the Geek Out episode that comes out in a couple days, you'll get it when you hear the episode.
They're also time travelers, if they've heard it.
That's the joke. You were here, Ken.
I was here. Was I? Or was I? I shattered the space-time continuum.
Anyway,
All right. So let's talk about these things. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about these things. So unfortunately, a lot of these I haven't actually seen. But that's the beauty about going through like bargain bin LaserDiscs is that they're so cheap. You're like, might as well pick them up.
Or you're like, oh, I like this actor or actress. Why don't I check out this one random movie that they were in?
Speaking of which, everybody that knows me knows I have a hard on for Michael J. Fox. And speaking of hard ons, the hard way.
Nicely done.
But yeah,
and hard ons. James Woods is the co-star. Penis jokes. In LaserDicks, who would have thought?
It's like our branding or something.
Yeah,
always gonna do them.
We know our target audience, guys.
Yeah, you guys come here for the dick jokes, and you come for the dick jokes. So
you bought the hard way.
I did. You can't segue out; it's in the title. But yeah, so I picked it up because a lot of besides Back to the Future, I haven't seen a lot of other Michael J. Fox's stuff besides he's done some voice actor stuff for Atlantis, which I think is pretty rad. And I saw his jump back to doing like a sitcom.
Oh yeah, that
I enjoyed it. It was kind of nice.
The Michael J. Fox show or something?
Yeah, it was just he was the dad. Yeah. He was just the dad being Michael J. Fox.
You didn't see the Teen Wolf movie?
I have. I did see the Teen Wolf movie, and I did see the penis in the background. Speaking of
I forgot about that. Yeah, Spin City, one of his I think other than Back to the Future, Spin City probably one of my favorite things he's done.
Really? I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a TV show that he was on several seasons of and was replaced by Charlie Sheen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
And Barry Bostwick's in it.
Because
the mayor? Yeah.
Because the only other long-running sitcom that I saw him in was the Growing Pains. Mm-hmm. The one that, almost got him out of Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Present him for it.
And he's on 2 episodes of Scrubs?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see those. Those were pretty rad. Any case, he's looking pretty good, pretty young in here. He's paired up with James Woods, as you were saying. As first, Michael J. Fox is Hollywood's most spoiled movie star, and James Wood is New York's angriest cop. There's only one way these two are going to get along, and that's the hard way.
Oh.
But it seemed kind of funny, and I've seen Doc Hollywood, so outside of Back to the Future, kind of, would you call it campy? Back to the Future, kind of maybe a little campy, half. It's not really campy. You're right, it's not really campy, but
2 could be.
But I haven't seen it in too much else, role wise. So this will be pretty fun. It's going to be a comedy action movie. It's all about how this actor really wants to get in to be in his latest role. So of course he's gonna team up with.
I
James
assume
Woods.
he's being a cop.
Yeah, he's gonna be a cop, and he's he's known as a nice guy, and he wants to land a role as a homicide detective. So he wants to hang out with a real one and learn the ropes and smoke the cigarettes and shoot the dudes and stuff like that. So looks pretty cool.
Tommyknockers. Not Tommyknockers. The Frighteners. For some reason, I always get those two confused. That's a good one that Michael J. Fox was in. pseudo. It's like a comedy horror movie.
Oh,
with ghosts.
I'll check that one out too.
Yeah,
I'll check that one out too.
The
Apparently,
Frighteners, not Tommy Knockers.
Other than that, extended play. Hour and
Widescreen,
which is nice. Yeah, and they do that bit where they put the poster like in like a full frame or not full frame, like
they letterbox it on the cover.
Yeah,
I think that's cute when they do that.
Yeah, and it's a nice space background. So well, that might be an MGM thing.
Yeah, all my Back to the Futures have that.
Yeah. But yeah, so this looks pretty rad. Let's see what's next. What's next over here? We've got 7% Solution. It's a Sherlock Holmes tale.
And this one has a nice continuity for our listeners.
Ooh.
Right? Because we talked about one episode, the dead side that you had on that Laserdisc.
Exactly. And we didn't know, we had an idea of what Sherlock Holmes iteration may be. I think it's this, because the outfits on here are pretty similar.
We'll watch it and get back to you guys.
Keep you in the loop. It looks pretty rad. I mean, and the cover on the front is like this really cool, like kind of painted, really like stone chisel shaded Sherlock Holmes with this nice little pattern in the background. Plus, any Moriarty story is a good story. Yeah. You gotta have a foil.
There's a reason why he's Sherlock Holmes' greatest villain. Exactly.
But we got him. We got Sigmund. We got the Sigmund Freud dude. We got Watson, Holmes. We got. It looks like it'd be pretty fun. There's trains involved. Gotta love trains. Yeah.
Real quick, for those of you that don't remember, the reason why I mentioned the continuity is that sometimes when their manufacturers would recycle Laserdiscs, and when they came across like a disc that they only needed to use one side of, and the other side had stuff written on it already, they would just put this film over it to make it unreadable on a player. And some people figured out that if you put a solvent on and get rid of that film, you can watch whatever was written on that side of the Laserdisc. And Ken found out that he had one that had a scene or a side of some random Sherlock Holmes movie. And like Ken said, we think this is it.
Yeah. We'll check it out. I mean, it may be cool. I mean, otherwise, I do enjoy Sherlock Holmes mystery. Mm-hmm. Next up, oh boy, it's a special dude here. So I picked this up solely based on the cover and who's in it. But Chuck Norris, Invasion USA. Boy howdy, I don't think this is an actual photo. I think this is painted, but he's got.
I'm pretty sure it's painted. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Chuck Norris, nice unbuttoned like sleeveless shirt here with two Uzis, Capitol Hill's in the background. Oh boy, like this is when did this come out? 85? Yeah, it's pretty 80s. It's pretty 80s, especially like with the banner at the top, like the gray MGM. Yeah, because this looks like they did this before they started doing the covers that we just discussed about the hard way. Yeah, like they had I've seen Star Wars discs like this, where they have the gray top, video laser disc, stereo extended play. So let's see, what do we got on here? I mean, I don't know anything about this movie. Oh, America wasn't ready, but he was. This sounds like a really good 80s romp.
It sounds
just cheesy.
Perfectly 80s.
Yeah. He's Matt Hunter, one-man army, solo defender of America's precious freedom.
Of course, his last name would be Hunter.
After she's invaded for the first time in her... No, America's been invaded a lot. I mean...
Not a lot.
More than... This is not the first. This is not the first. Come on. I demand continuity in my synopsis.
Maybe what... I don't know.
Alternate future?
Yeah.
Or alternate past at this point?
Maybe... I mean,
Ragtag Army of Terrorist Mercenaries by a Russian catches America unprepared and makes her a war zone from sea to shiny sea. Only one man can
actually. I don't think America has been properly invaded. Like we've been attacked, but like I think they're talking about like Red Dawn style invasion, takeover.
Shows you what kind of history I know.
Yeah, I mean here I am defending a Chuck Norris movie.
I mean, yeah, this might be good. It seems fun. Bazooka bearing terrorists. I mean,
boom, that's all you need.
Yeah, apparently, he's a one-man army.
Of course.
America's doomsday weapon launches his final plan. So, should be a riot. I mean, it's like there was like a T9000 laserdisc that we saw advertised and watched the trailer for, and it was just like, I would buy this solely on the ridiculousness of this movie.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take it down. Let's take it down a notch. We'll calm the Uzis, blow off the steam. We got All the Right Moves here, starring that dreamy Tom Cruise. I mean, he's like, what, 18 maybe? I mean, he's pretty young. He's probably one of those like young 20-year-olds that looks like they're 18, like a la Power Rangers.
You without your facial hair.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. Seriously, the instant I shave, I look like I'm 21.
Yeah.
It's sad. That's sad. Well, it helps for any kind of cosplay. If I need to take 10 years off my life. But yeah, so apparently, according to the very nice clerk, the very personable clerk at Record and Tape Exchange, this is Tom Cruise's first not credited, but like, headlined role. He's been in the background, he's been in the sides,
but like somewhat top billing.
Yeah, top billing for this one. And it's just like your typical 80s movie. It's in high school. The guy was telling me that there's a big game, coach and Tom Cruise makes a bad decision, and now they got to pay for it, that sort of thing. But I think the main thing that drew it to me was like, early actor that I know. Plus, we have Leah Thompson in here. Leah Thompson. Apparently they discuss her. Leah Thompson, the girl Steph comes to love, a young woman with her own dream of escape. So, I mean, it seems like a fun 80s romp, and I'm told there's nudity involved. Always a good time. I mean, that's why I always felt like I was getting away with something with watching Doc Hollywood. My mom bought it for me out of the bargain bin growing up, and I'm like, oh man, I love Michael J. Fox. Turn it on. Halfway through, there's a skinny dipping scene. I'm just like, oh, the 80s were a different time. Oh man, so it should be fun. And finally,
something that I'm very jealous that you have.
Yes, I mean, I would be willing to part with it. I mean, well, why don't I watch it first?
Yeah,
see if I'm down with it. But I did grab This Is Spinal Tap,
the world's greatest mockumentary.
Ooh, and it's Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
It's for $6. I mean,
yeah, no, that's ridiculous. That's so cheap.
Yeah, I think it's just a single disc in here. How long was this movie?
I don't know.
What the heck?
2 hours?
It should say 82 minutes.
Okay.
Not even 2 hours.
Not even an hour and a half.
What the heck? Seriously. In any case, I haven't seen this movie at all. I have no idea what it's about.
So it's about an 80s metal band going on tour, and just a documentary crew following them. And like I said, it's a mockumentary. It's scripted. But it's by did you see like Best in Show or any of the other movies that these people made? It's a group of people that make movies together. But it's hilarious. It's very. If you've ever heard the phrase ours goes up to 11, it comes from that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I owe it to myself then to check this out. Especially this is disappointing. Criterion is pleased to offer this Spinal Tap on a new CLV version. I'm like, aren't you known for CAV quality of the better quality?
It's not 100% guaranteed.
It's true.
Yeah.
But they don't even.
That guy right there is one of the big voice actors for The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah. Dan. Am I thinking of the right name? Dan something?
Not that guy.
Not this guy.
I'm trying to remember who he is, but
I mean, it's hard to recognize him when he's got that thick of a mustache and hair.
Right. Let me see if I can find his name on the
billing.
Yeah.
Still nice.
Yeah.
Still a nice cover though. It's just black with the logo Criterion Collection.
Well, and that's a reference to one of their album covers. I feel terrible because I'm not recognizing which one he is. It's a it's a dude. I forget which one. It's one of these top three guys, but not Christopher Guest. So it's either Michael McKean or Harry Shearer. I think Shearer. Yeah, Shearer. Sure. I'm not as good with my Simpsons. I just I remember that face. You'll recognize his voice as soon as he starts talking.
Of course, that's the way.
Because he's one of the. I think he's Reverend Lovejoy. And a couple other guys.
Well, yeah, I think like there's like a group of 3 people on The Simpsons that voice practically
Pretty
everything.
much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a hilarious show. I think you will love it.
I will check it out.
Okay.
Now you, on the other hand, have something that you're not a fan of.
I thought I was. So, as you'll hear me mentioned on the Geek Out episode that comes out next week, recently, How Did This Get Made, a podcast that I like to listen to, did an episode on Highlander 2, The Quickening, and it made me realize that I don't remember a lot of the stuff that happens in Highlander 2, The Quickening. So, me being the idiot that I am, bought the Highlander 2, The Quickening, and ended up getting, because it was a better deal, bought Highlander and Highlander 2. I'm going to stop saying The Quickening. Highlander 1 and 2, I bought them together because they were cheaper than the other sales that were just Highlander 2, and decided to do a double feature today in preparation for tonight's episode because I wanted to have something to contribute. And dear God, these movies were terrible. I do not understand, one, why I liked them when I was younger, because like when I back when I like maybe 18 or 19, I watched all of the Highlander movies because I was working at Blockbuster, and each week you got 5 free rentals, and I was like, I've got to use all 5 of them. And there was like 5 or 6 Highlander movies. So one week it was just Highlander. And I remember like not hating them when I did that, but like after listening to How Did This Get Made and watching Highlander 2 and also Highlander 1, going, I don't remember like any of this.
Right.
Like all I remember was one Queen soundtrack in Highlander was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. And then sword, guys fighting with swords is always going to be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Dear God. Sorry if you're one of those people that like likes Highlander, like genuinely likes it, or one of those people that's like, oh, it's so bad that it's good, because I disagree with both of you. These are just bad, and they should feel bad about how bad they are.
Do you think though? Well, I guess you haven't seen them recently in recent memory, but you were saying that it might pick up a little bit.
Yeah, so I do remember. Oddly enough, I was of the notion that as they continued, I actually liked some of the things that were coming up with in the other episode or the other movies even more. Like I remember one of the bad guys in one of the later ones. I don't think it's actually Dolph Lundgren, but in my mind, I remember it as Dolph Lundgren. And he's just like, he hunts the Highlander, he hunts the Immortals. Because I learned from the How Did This Get Made episode that the Highlander is just Christopher Lambert, not the group of Immortals.
Right.
He's the Highlander because he is a Highlander, which is a Scottish
rank.
It's a specific type of Scottish. It's like hillbillies here. Although I don't think it's as pejorative. I think it's just like, oh, they live on the hills. Okay. And they're typically farmers, I believe. But yeah, so a Highlander is a type of Scotsman. And his character is that type of Scotsman. But so in one of the movies, like this guy just hunts the Immortals or something like that. And I remember him being a really cool character.
Right.
And like I remember there was this one of the movies, like they had like this concept that like some of the Immortals wanted to keep the game going. There can be only one shit. They didn't want to. They willingly are sacrificing their ability to live a life by putting themselves in stasis so that they never get killed. It's weird, but like for whatever reason, I liked the concept.
Right.
But yeah, I might talking about it. I might check out the other Highlander movies in a little bit to see if the rest of them still hold up. But I am very disappointed in this purchase of Highlander and Highlander 2.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Also, just to add insult to injury, both of them are CLV quality, and they're both 4:3 ratio.
Oh, that's grody.
Yeah. Although Highlander 2, during the opening credits, switched to letterboxed just because they utilized the entire widescreen to do the credits.
Well, I think that's a common thing. I noticed that too back when I was growing up. We would watch The Man from Snowy River, and they would do that a lot.
Yeah, but not cool enough to just keep it widescreen the whole movie.
No, we need to fill your entire
all
television.
90 minutes. I had to sit there going, ugh, I hate looking at the sides of my screen. And the first one is 110 minutes, meaning that it's almost exactly 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 50 minutes. I remember when it got to the end of the first side, I was like, oh my God, can this movie be over? Please. It was that bad. It was that bad. And I watched both back to back.
You put yourself through this.
I did, but that's because I'm a professional and I needed something to talk about.
Well, next time you should come out with me to Record and Tape Exchange.
I should have. Well, I mean, I was doing it while you were at work because I didn't have to work today.
Well, next time, though, because, like...
yeah, no, I would like to go to Record and Tape Exchange with you. Then the guy can see that there actually is two of us.
No, exactly.
And not just think he's crazy that he doesn't remember what we look like.
Exactly.
That we're, like, the same person. It's like, oh, man, last time I could have sworn you were smaller.
Did you gain... It's like, did you lose weight? What? No, but
you get that lipo?
But, no, I was telling him, it's like, hey, so... I've got he asked me the first thing, because every time I buy a Laserdisc from a store, the first thing he asked me is like, that's not a record, right?
That's not a soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm like, I know.
That's why I have a stack.
I have a stack, and I have two laser players at home. I think I'm set. But I told him, like, yeah, I'm buying these. I'm about to go do a podcast, and he looked at me like, what a fucking nerd.
Well, anyone that does have a podcast is a fucking nerd.
I mean, to add insult to injury, we are a Laserdisc podcast, so we're like, must be like some high cream of the crop nerd.
And yet we still get a decent number of downloads every month.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not just me.
No. We are comparable to Jake's Kiss podcast and Sam and Jake's Beatles podcast.
Aww.
We get comparable numbers to what they're downloading. You'd think that those would get higher because people are like, oh, I still like Kiss and the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. And most modern people do not know about Laserdiscs.
Yeah.
I have to remind everybody. They're like, oh, you're like, I have a short list of things that I'm known for: Power Rangers, Spider-Man, and Laserdiscs. I mean, and Sonic the Hedgehog. There we go. So I got a short list there.
For me, it's mostly Laserdiscs.
Yeah. Well, no, you're the guy. You're like the photog guy.
Yeah, I mean, people know that I'm a photographer.
Yeah, and the
people don't typically talk to me about photography.
Hey, so the DSLR is really hot, man.
Yeah. What kind of lens you got there, huh? 50 millimeter?
Fisheye. Yeah, you'll have to come out because they still had a huge stack.
Yeah, and
I still haven't finished my entire stack. Next week we'll have to talk, or next month. Next week on Power Rangers. Next month we'll have to check out the rest of my stack because there's a few more surprises. I think I know. I at least picked up a few solely based on the cover, so I'll have to be descriptive as all hell.
Don't judge a Laserdisc by its cover.
Well, I mean, I judged it to be awesome, and according to what you guys were saying about it, it sounds like it was. It's at least the fantasy version of The Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
So look forward to that next time. So yeah. Well, and maybe by that point you'll get me to watch Darkman.
Yeah.
Because I got that for your Was it Christmas or birthday?
Christmas.
One of those.
But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, because I wouldn't mind seeing that, and that's
a great movie.
Happens to be on Laserdisc, so we can talk about it. But I guess until then, guys, we'll check you later.
Yeah, I think we're wrapping it up. Once again, I am Chris,
and I'm Ken. Laserdicks.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.